As you learn about the narcissistic pattern, it's also wise to reflect on the much healthier alternatives. Now, below you're going to find a link to my new extensive course called Ready, Set, Connect. It addresses both the mindset and the skills involved in gratifying relationships, and I hope you'll find it to be quite therapeutic. Let's begin today with a very simple personal inventory kind of question, and that is, how skilled would you say you are at maneuvering through differences between yourself and that person next to you? Are you a flexible individual? Do you bring curiosity with you as you engage with that person? In other words, you want to understand them from their point of view and know how they tick and why they do things the way they do. Are you open-minded? Are you eager to learn? Can you be taught? Do you have a desire to blend well with others? Are you an accepting person? When you bring the characteristics that implies to a relationships, and the other person is certainly able to reciprocate on that, you've got a good chance of things going well, even in the midst of differences. And that's something that we all ideally would aspire to. Now, let's take that same thinking and apply it to the narcissist in your life. Do you think of that person in the same light? When a narcissist is required to figure out how to deal with the differences, especially in moments of conflict, but sometimes just over simple things, when they're required to bring a mindset that says, let's blend and let's harmonize, their thinking is, no, I don't do that. In fact, what I'd like to do is I'd like to take over your distinctions and force myself onto you. And then they think of themselves as far too self-important. They're too enamored with themselves. They have too much of an attitude of entitlement to say, yeah, let's work together. And then when you protest and you say, well, that doesn't work for me, you know what they'll do? They'll double down. They'll just keep pushing and pressing and to the point to where they just want to wear you out. Now, there are three simple little words that are very difficult for a narcissist to come to terms with. In fact, these three words can be scary. They can be terrifying and threatening to the narcissist when you say, hey, let's do something better. The three words are, let it go. Let go of that ego. Let go of that self-importance. Let go of that need to be in total control over other individuals, to have the final word over everything. And the narcissist is like, I have to be in charge here. I have to be the one whose opinion is dominant. I'm too important for that. Now, I want to run through multiple thoughts that can be on the inside of that narcissist that illustrate that they have a hard time letting it go. For example, the narcissist will bring to you the thought that says, plain and simple, my needs are more important than your needs. I'm not letting that go. And instead, what they'll do is they have this stubborn need to be in control. They're very codependent. A second thing that we can say is the narcissist thinks, I know more than you. They have this false superiority. I'm not going to let that go. Or the narcissist is thinking, your distinctions are a nuisance to me. And they'll invalidate you. And in their mind, it's like, I don't want to let that go either. Or another thought that they bring, go figure this one, in their mind, it's like, well, the sign of a successful relationship is you conforming to me. They have this sense of grandiosity. And in their mind, it's like, I'm not going to let go of that one either. Likewise, they're thinking, when we discuss differences and nuance and alternatives to how we can manage things, I find that to be too complicated. And that they bring an emotional incompetence to the equation. And in their mind, it's like, I'm not going to let go of that one either. In their mind, they think, I'm a winner, which means you're required to become the designated loser. They're absurdly competitive. It's like, I don't want to let that go either. Or in their way of thinking, they'll think, when we differ, I need someone to blame. Oh, there you are. I'm not going to let go of that. They need scapegoats. Or another thing that's on the inside of their mind, it's like, just by you being distinct, you make my life miserable. In other words, they're the constant victim. I'm not going to let that go. Or another thought that's on the inside of their mind, and that is, no one has permission to discuss with me my deficiencies. They have a lack of authenticity, and in their mind, they're thinking, I won't let that go. Do you see the absurdity of this? And I know as I'm saying this, so many of you are thinking, oh, that's exactly what I bump into every single day. It's like running into a brick wall. They can't let it go. They're so self-important. Let's turn the tables. And let's hold on to a certain mindset that would be much different. And I'm hoping that in your mind, you can hold on to what you know to be wisest and healthy, despite their I won't let it go kind of mindset. Let me run through how that might guide your way of thinking in a very different contrast to the way that they think. For example, I don't really have to be a carbon copy of you. I'd like for you to let that go. Or when I think differently, it's just that, different. Would you let that go? Or if you take the time to listen and ponder, you might actually learn something useful. Let it go. Or you might want to say to that person, although you may have to just think it in your mind, I'm not your enemy. You don't have to assume hostility from me so easily. Let it go. Or it might be that you would think, remember, when I err, so do you. Let it go. We're humans. We're fellow sojourners on the same path, if you'll remember that. Or you might think to yourself, I'm a capable person. I'm willing to learn and to take input. Why don't you let it go when you come at me with all of your insistence that everything has to be your way? Or in your mind, you might think, if you would exchange your rudeness for respectfulness, perhaps you and I could make some progress. Let it go. Or in addition to that, you might think, my separate opinions do not equate to rejection. Let it go. Or in addition to that, you might think, your walls of defensiveness hinder us from moving forward. Would you let that go? Or in addition, you can think to yourself, being me does not have to block you from being you. Let it go. Now, when I say this, it can seem so common sense based to think that way, but the narcissist, like I say, brings so much sense of self-importance. They bring so much of a need for control that when you say, let it go, in their mind, it's like, I'm not letting go of that one bit. Let's keep in mind a couple of fundamental truths about narcissists. Yes, they're highly egotistical, which implies that if there's two people in the equation, somebody has to be dominant and somebody has to be the subordinate, and you can pretty much figure out who's going to be in those roles. But beyond that egotism, more importantly, these are profoundly insecure individuals. They're fear-based. And so when I say those three simple words, let it go, and I remind you that those are threatening words, what we're saying is when a narcissist is challenged with the notion that says, you don't have to bring all of this egocentrism toward me. We're going to do a whole lot better if we can do it in a more egalitarian kind of way. It's like, no way. I don't trust people. I don't know how to manage emotions. Nobody taught me that, or if they did try, I wasn't interested. I don't know what to do when you are too distinct from me. I certainly don't feel like I have to learn anything new. And so they bring so much of their own pathology and frankly their own internal chaos to the relationship that if you think or certainly say out loud those three little words, let it go, what you're doing is you're challenging them to take that veneer down, to get out from behind their false self and just be authentic. And you know that's just not something they're interested in the least. So when we say those three words, let it go, rather than applying those words to the narcissist who simply don't know what to do with that mindset, why don't we apply it to you? Let it go. These individuals have an illusion that they're mature. They have an illusion that they're the better person in the equation. And no matter how many times you try to argue your point with them, it's not going to work. Let it go. And in the process, give yourself permission to just simply be who you are. They can't let go of their false self. They can't let go of their illusory thinking. You can be grounded in reality, and your reality says, I know that we can blend, we can harmonize, but I suppose it's not going to happen with somebody who's too threatened and too afraid to just simply say, I accept you for what you are. It's good for me to know that. I'm going to move on towards individuals who can let go of their own self-importance. Now, I hope that videos such as this can give you some good awareness about what you're dealing with. And the more you know and understand this, the more you can move down the path towards your own healthiness. That's why I keep bringing these videos to you. If you've not already subscribed, I would encourage you to do so. Hit the like button as well. Gus and I will keep bringing more videos toward you. There are plenty of times when you're dealing with this kind of stuff that you could use some therapy to help you unpack that. And I'm so pleased that I've been sponsored for years by the people at BetterHelp.com. I've received good input from them. Their process is simple for you to go in and fill out the little things on their questionnaire so that you can get matched with the right therapist. There's a link below that will take you to their website. And if you go through our link, then you'll get a 10% discount on your first month. Seek the therapy that you would need if that's something that you know is there for you. In addition, I have my therapeutic courses with multiple videos and teaching documents and guided questions. It's like signing up for an online class. They're very extensive, would require some real good work from you. We have Ready, Set, Connect about making good connection skills. This is me establishing your boundaries, free to be, finding yourself despite those controllers. Likewise, we have my webinars that have already been presented, but you can still purchase those. We have my podcasts. We have our website with many articles, and then we have my books. So there are plenty of resources, and I hope you avail yourself to all of that. Let it go. Don't be so self-important. And the narcissist is like, that means I have to let go of all the structure that I built around me, no matter how false it is. Okay, that's where they are. But I'm hoping you can let go of anything that's unhealthy that they require you to participate in. And in doing so, you can commit yourself to being a person of steadiness. And ultimately, I hope that you're going to be on your path, unimpeded, toward peace.